My name is Jerald Cook. I'm a physician. I am 56 years old, about to turn 57 in December. And I have been a runner since I turned 15. I love running. It's an easy sport to pick up and do anywhere. The Twin Cities Marathon is one that I had heard of for many years. It's been around a long time. I have friends that live in Minnesota, so it made it kind of a nice race to go to visit my friends. I know how difficult it is to run a marathon, so when I'm out there with thousands of other people doing the same thing, it's really a cool experience. Preparation this year wasn't the best. Last year I ran a lot. I ran the Leadville 100-mile run, and in preparation for that I ran more than I ever have. I had qualified for Boston, so I was running Boston in April, but I just couldn't get myself to do the marathon training to perform well there. So after the Boston Marathon in April is when I got my act together and started training for the Twin Cities Marathon. So it was about 6 months in total. My longest run weeks were around 70 miles, and I also wanted to get a lot of mileage in because I am scheduled to do the Rio del Lago 100-mile run on November 1st in Folsom, California. Mentally, I went into the Twin Cities Marathon with a plan. I used the Garmin Pace Pro, so I had it set on my watch to give me that I needed to keep in order to reach my goal. In preparation, I followed a marathon training plan that included some marathon pace running, also some runs where I would run faster than marathon pace, maybe a 10K pace. I did not reach my ultimate goal. I knew there would be some challenges of trying to meet my goal of qualifying for Boston. And I started off the race with an 8:30 pace, and then I moved into a 7:30 pace, and I could just tell that it was difficult to really maintain that.
Mile 6. Susie's a little ahead of me on the hill.
I've done other runs recently where it was much colder, and it was so much easier to run a faster pace. But with the temperature and the humidity, even at the start of the race, the lowest for the day, it was just not working out for me. The first 7 miles felt really tough. I was running side by side with my friend Susie, who had a similar goal to me. I knew I couldn't really keep the pace for the marathon, so I mentally told myself I would stay with Susie as long as I could. But at 7.5, we started going up a hill, and Susie is pretty strong running up the hills, and I could not hang with her. So I fell back and she was on her own, and I reevaluated how I was going to race. I tried to slow down as much as I could, trying to get my heart rate to come down a little bit. And I was running an 8:30 pace, and my heart rate was better. It was more of my target heart rate that I had planned for the marathon.
I did a little walking this mile to bring my heart rate down, but it's still up in the marathon zone, which is where it should be. I just burned a lot of matches early on.
I felt great after the race. Of course, I was sore and tired, and the first day I was kind of hobbling around, but the second day I felt really good, and 3 days after the race, I went for a nice long run. I have some races coming up, and what I decided to do is to pace them differently. I do want to try to qualify for Boston this year. It's just the beginning of the qualifying year for 2027. So I have time for that, but I am focusing on the Rio del Lago 100 that's coming up on November 1st. The marathon is a excellent distance because it's long enough that it's really challenging. You have to plan hydration and nutrition, even in the best condition. You feel different along the way. Like in the beginning, it can feel, if you're pacing it correctly, it could feel almost too slow.
Hanging in there.
And then in the end, you're really pushing yourself to get across that finish. There were a lot of people out for this race. The marathon, I think there's around 9,000 runners, but the whole marathon weekend includes some other races, and there's 30,000 or so participants. And the community really gets out and involved in cheering for the racers. We run through some neighborhoods where they're just packed with spectators. There's bands that come out, there's people singing karaoke. It's really a party through these neighborhoods. They can't drive on their streets and they can't really go anywhere, so they seem to really take advantage of this special event. I knew I wasn't going to quit, but somewhere around mile 17, 18, 19, I felt like walking. My legs were fine. They were stiff and sore, but I could run. And I just decided, well, I'll just run at a slower pace.
Crossing the Mississippi
And that's
River.
what I did. It's important for me to do that because I do have some races that are longer than a marathon, and those feelings even become really intense where not necessarily quitting, but wanting to not continue to run. And walking ends up being some really long miles. When I cross the finish line, it's a cool experience there because you can see the Capitol as you're running in, the Capitol building in St. Paul, and they have flags up and the crowd is cheering. I saw Molly filming me when I was coming in, so that was pretty cool. And after I finished, I wanted to find out how Susie did because I knew that she had finished and I had to go to our rendezvous to reunite. Marathons do teach you things about yourself. They teach you that you can push through discomfort and that not everything goes like you would like. And it's really a celebration. It's a celebration of the training that you've done. The training is harder than the single marathon because, like I said, 6 months of training, and it almost really wasn't enough for me. But 6 months of training, running 4, 5, 6 days a week, and trying to hit those targets of your mileage and everything else that you have in your life is still going on. So when you're out there, it can be easy to feel disappointed in a performance or not meeting a goal, but celebrate all wins and just finishing the marathon.